had a lot of seizures, and they wanted to see if it was connected to my brain somehow.
So you had like one seizure, two seizures?
No, I had like a lot of seizures. There was one, I think it was Christmas, that I was seizing so bad I couldn't even sit up. I would just be laying there on the ground, and I don't remember a lot when I have seizures, but like I know, like I'm like, God help me get through this. We're gonna make it to the end of the tunnel. I don't give up a lot. If I give up, there's something wrong with me.
So you have a friend that you bring with you most nights to
Yes.
Junkyard. Who's your friend back there?
That is Podge.
That's Podge.
He is my service dog. He protects me if I have seizures. That's why the vet says don't pet, so that he's not running around wanting to get attention, and then I have a seizure, fall down, and he's distracted by a bunch of wonderful Christians petting him.
And Podge has his own little special things too, doesn't he? Podge has a little bit of anxiety sometimes.
Yes, he has anxiety at work and school.
Don't we all? Don't we all? So, in this passage that we shared, that you really said you really wanted to zone in on that John chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. And it talked about, in the beginning was the Word. What is it about that passage that really jumps out to you?
What really jumped out to me is that I know with some of my other friends in we're in 6A right now, the high school group, we go through the troubles, but we don't think, God, can you help us? We just want to fix it or somebody else fix it.
Yeah. And you said, when we met on Monday, we talked about some things, and you talked about some of the special things that you kind of get to do and ways that you can see God. What were some of the points in your life where you really were able to see God working in your life?
When I had my surgeries, I could really see God working through I should know this word. My mom works at the hospital. The people that were working on me, I really had to put my faith in God to give them my faith that they wouldn't do something to mess the surgery up, or even just thinking, how am I gonna recover? And that's one of the great surprises, is you don't know when or how you're gonna recover, but God does. And He won't give you that answer. He will be like, welcome home.
That's so good. Yeah, when we were talking, you talked about this idea of like there being so much wrong in the world, and it could be really easy for you to get bitter, right, and get angry at God. And I know there's probably a lot of people, I know I have. I've looked at my life and said, like, why, God? Why would you allow me to go through this?
I gotta say, I have had a few people like that. Like, why did you put these people in my life? But now, as I'm growing up, like, one of my closest friends, and you might know her, is Sydney Weeveling. I have known her as far as my memory goes back. But God really put her in my life to be that support, to push me, but not so I fall off.
Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I think it's okay, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So we talked about your surgeries a little bit. Were those simple surgeries, just little, like broken? I saw somebody with a broken arm, just kind of like resetting the arm, just a simple surgery like that?
No, that would like cut into your body and move.
Not just your body, where at?
It was cut into my legs because I walked inward, and that was a real issue for me. So they would change my the way my legs go.
And then there was the one for the seizure specifically. Where was that one at?
Yeah, the brain surgery.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty simple surgeries, right?
You're sure?
Just so you guys can get a little understanding. This is what I said. I met with Shad today. Shad's her dad. And he was telling me like this, yep, there he's waving. You can say hi to Shad. And Shelly's next to him. That's Rachel's mom. And so Shad was telling me like they literally went in and like cut down the middle and like separated the hemispheres of the brain to try and see if then it would stop the brain from going into seizures all the time. And he also shared with me that one time he had like 100 seizures in one day.
Yep. Christmas.
Yeah, that's a lot. If you guys have ever experienced a seizure or seen somebody having a seizure, my wife has seizures, but it's nothing like that. And so so it takes a lot of faith and just a lot of miraculousness to say, these doctors are going to cut my brain open, and it was possible you were never going to walk again, you're never going to talk again.
I'm really glad that God did what he did at his time. I mean, I got frustrated because I wasn't understanding stuff, but God knows exactly when the right moment is for you. So don't go like, God, I need this now. And why aren't you giving it to me? I wasn't like that, but like when it was getting close to the end of my leg surgery, and I'm like, dude, I gotta get up and walk. I am so bored. I'm sitting down all the time. But he's like, wait, and you'll find out.
Yeah, you shared a quote with me. Do you remember the quote that you said that I just loved about crawling?
I said to Joey, crawl before you walk. A lot of the times we have problems or issues that we just jump into. And that one, I'm still working on today. I got school, work, and like that's a lot in one day. And I just want to run home and jump into bed. But it's God telling you to wait, be patient, and someone will help you or guide you, whether that be a friend, a family member, or God Himself.
So you said you love this idea of God's love shown through his presence. Where do you see God's presence at in your life?
I see God's presence really anywhere I go. I mostly love when I get home and I walk into like my empty bedroom because I know God is sitting there waiting for me to come home. I mean, sure, we have outside activities and stuff, but you would be surprised at how much you think about God, but you don't really know it.
Rachel, you shared with me that you want to see these kids living more for Jesus.
Mhm.
What are some ways you feel that they can live more for Jesus on a day-to-day?
I feel like, especially as you get into high school, because as you get into high school and leave whatever school you're at, your your friends aren't always gonna follow you. There's gonna be some that have a different path. So you just need to walk in and be ready to make at least one new friend. It's very difficult walking in to a school and knowing nobody and not having that voice.
Yeah, how important is God in your life?
It's, there's not even a word for that.
That's awesome. Well, Rachel also just wanted to have her number just because just wanted you to be able to text her, call her if you just want to talk. She knows that just different people are going through different things in life, and so she just wants to be a resource to some of you. Maybe some of you have kind of gone through your own disabilities and struggles, and maybe you haven't, in your mind, you're like, well, I haven't had it as bad as this person or that. Rachel just wants to say, like, yeah, but I love Jesus, and she wants to help you love him too. So with that, I am going to let Rachel pray.
Can I add on
Yes,
to that?
absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you're at, really. It's just like, I mostly have a lot of my friends' numbers in case I need help with even it could be one small thing, but in my head, it's like there's a confusing math problem. It just, I just want you to know that he loves you all and he's everywhere. He's not only in the church, he's at home, he's at school, wherever you go. He's with you. That's all I got.
So good. Would you be willing to pray for us to end our
Yeah.
time?
Yes. Dear God, thank you for these wonderful kids that came to Junkyard out of their busy week. I love that they're to come and learn more about you. There's many things but they could rather be doing, but they chose you. So thank you very much. If you need help, just show them that you're there if you're not like able to help in the moment. Amen.
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 They can check off back there.
All right. Well, as Rachel was kind of finishing up there too, I just had this one last final thought, and I've shared this before with people, and I'll let you guys go to the discussion group, just in this idea of God's presence. And so I never forget the story of Elijah. Some of you may know the story of Elijah, who was a prophet in the Old Testament. And there's this story of him doing this incredible thing where he calls down fire from heaven and wipes out a bunch of false prophets. And then immediately the queen of Israel tries to kill him. And he runs off and he's hiding in a cave. And he's sitting in this cave and he's praying. He's like, God, show me your presence. And there's fire and there's wind and there's all of these crazy things going on around, and just keeps saying, but God wasn't there, but God wasn't there. And then this slow, quiet whisper comes, and God whispers to Elijah in that moment and reveals to him that he's not alone. And so I know some of you are sitting here and you feel that. You're like, I feel like I'm alone. I don't feel like God is here. Slow down and listen. Let God whisper sometimes. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go off into discussion groups. It should probably say on your sheets where you can go. I don't even know where at this point, but at 7:25, come on back in here. We'll have final announcements and dismissal. Thank you guys so much.